2023 is about to be our year. So if you're ready to set some goals, habits, and routines to make it so, grab yourself a cuppa and let's get into the video. If you haven't already watched my 2023 reset routine where I talk about sort of my big life changes and start setting up my bullet journal, my budget, and all of those fun things, make sure you go check that out because I talk about some of the massive life changes that I'm planning on sort of having take place this year. But as much as changing your life is about some of those big things, really it's also about the small habits and routines that you do every day that can have a massive impact on your overall well-being and also on the quality of your life in general. So I have listed some of the things that I'm really looking to implement this year to make it a fantastic year, but also just to be able to transform my life in small ways. So the first thing that I want to implement is daily movement. Last year I started off pretty strong in terms of my fitness routine. I was exercising a couple of times a week and making really good sessions out of those. But as my stress just began to build halfway through the year, I pretty much fell off the wagon and was so stressed out that I couldn't even get myself to exercise at all. Even though I knew that exercise or movement was going to, you know, release those happy hormones and help me out, I just couldn't do it. So really this year, I want to make it a habit and a priority of getting in a movement every single day. Now for me, I know that half an hour to an hour of exercise is just not realistic, but one thing that I can sustain is 15 to 20 minutes of exercise every day. And strenuous things like lifting weights is probably something that I'm not going to be able to muster after a full day of work, if I'm being honest. So things like Pilates, yoga, stretching, dog walking, going for like a run or a jog is maybe some things that are a bit more manageable for me. And I think just having realistic expectations for yourself and knowing truly what you are capable of implementing every single day is just one of those things that is so crucial in you actually achieving your goals. So the second thing that I really struggled with last year was eating. Because I was so stressed out, I was not eating properly. I wasn't taking the time in the afternoon to prep my meals for the next day, and I found myself going to work not having enough food, often being so hungry. I was combating that with drinking copious amounts of coffee, and it just really led to a very unhealthy kind of relationship with food, but also just like health situation in general. So I really need to make it a priority this year to check my food situation before I go grocery shopping, plan out my meals ahead of time, make sure that I'm buying everything that I need, and really doing that meal prep in the afternoon, like taking the time to prep a healthy dinner and get my lunch sorted for the next day. In 2022, I attempted to do a low buy, and I think the reason why I'm not gonna say that I failed at it, but the reason why I found it so challenging to limit my spending is because I was not in a great mental state. I supplemented like my own feelings of stress, failure, and worthlessness with buying things. And people can sometimes, you know, have different things that they use for comfort, whether that's alcohol or food or whatever. For me, it was spending money, and particularly spending money on books, which is not a bad thing. I don't think. I was getting a lot of joy out of reading, but I found that whenever I was feeling really down, I would want to combat that by buying something for myself. So really, I do need to get to the root of the issue, which is my own stress and my own feelings of self-worth. But then I also need to get to the outcome, the problem, which was buying and buying unnecessarily. I have a lot of things that I really want to save for this year. So saving money is going to be such a crucial thing and a goal for me this year. Save as much as I can. So limiting my spending, buying secondhand where I can, and buying sustainable local products is also really important to me as well. So it does mean that I need to do a little bit more research. I need to sometimes spend a little bit more money in order to buy more sustainable items, but I just need to think about the long-term impact of that. But then again, the less that I buy, the more sustainable that I'm being as well. And if I can try and pick up some of the books that I want to read secondhand, that would be fantastic. I bought a lot of really great secondhand clothes last year. Sort of fit in with that coastal grandmother aesthetic, you know, that I love. This shirt is one of those things that I managed to pick up from a thrift store. So if I can be a little bit more cautious with my money and a little less frivolous, but then also a little bit more mindful about my impact on the planet, I think that that will be some of the things that I'm aiming towards. Along the same lines of this idea of low buy, conscious consumerism, etc., and sustainability in particular, I also want to be more mindful of the things that I'm buying, and wherever possible to try and buy the most sustainable option, and to try and buy things that are plastic or packaging free. I know that a lot of beauty products are coming out that are in bar form, so lotions and face serums and shampoo and conditioner and all of these different things. And as I'm using up my beauty products, I do want to transfer them into a more sustainable alternative, or maybe just not use them at all if I find that they're kind of redundant or unnecessary to my routine. And I want to try and do the same thing when it comes to grocery shopping. I'm finding it really challenging in a conventional supermarket, which is the most convenient way to shop for me, to buy things that are free of plastic. But I'm going to try and make that conscious effort to do so. I know it does mean maybe a little bit more effort on my part in terms of preparing things, but I guess that's the price that you have to pay in order to be a little bit more sustainable and environmentally friendly. Last year I started spending a lot more time outdoors, whether that was reading in the sun or getting out in the garden, and I found that to be very therapeutic and very sort of relaxing and a mindful type activity. And I definitely want to spend a lot more time outdoors, whether it's exercising outdoors, reading outdoors, going for walks, spending time in the garden, or just enjoying some outdoor activities with my family. If you watch my videos regularly, you've probably seen that we've done a lot of really fun local family day trips last year, and that's definitely something that I want to continue into this year, and spending more time just appreciating the beauty of the local area and all of the great, you know, sort of scenery and outdoor activities that we can experience around here. There's a lot of things that I haven't yet seen or done, and I definitely think that that's a worthwhile use of my time, rather than, you know, spending a lot of time online or just cooped up inside. That vitamin D is so good for you anyway. Definitely helps to keep you happy and upbeat. So if I can spend a little bit more time outdoors, that would be fantastic. Thank you. And then kind of following into this idea of time outdoors and time off my phone, I want to continue to practice some slow living habits. So that might be some of the things that I've already mentioned, such as reading or gardening or going for walks or going for swims or spending some quality time with my family. I want to think of some ways that aren't me sitting in front of a screen and really take that time away from my device, and then also away from anything work related. I spent a lot of time thinking about work and doing work things last year, and it got me into a really dark place. And I really just want to be able to disconnect more this year and not be in such of a rush or such of a stressed state of mind. Really be able to be mindful and do things slowly and intentionally. So any sort of practices that help me live a slow and intentional life are things that I definitely want to try and integrate into my daily routine. So if you're kind of looking holistically at all of my intentions for 2023, there's definitely a reoccurring theme of healthy, slow, intentional, mindful, minimal, and sustainable, which is kind of the whole idea of what my channel is about. That's sort of my ethos, if you will, but I really want to be more intentional, I guess, about doing those things, and instead of being so consumed by my own thoughts and stress and then resort to numbing out with my phone or watching things on Netflix or buying things to help me feel better, I really want to invest my time, energy, and money into practices that are going to help not only fuel like my own health and well-being, but also be less of an impact on the planet and my finances as well. So I'm very keen to hear some of the things that you guys are looking to set up for yourself as habits, routines, goals, intentions for 2023, and hopefully we can gain some inspiration off each other. So make sure that you list those in the comments down below. If you like this video and want to see more motivational content to help you smash out your 2023 and live your best life, make sure you give this video a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe down below. I put out new videos every Wednesday and Saturday. With that being said, I hope you have a fantastic rest of your week, and I'll see you all in my next video. Bye guys.